We're live on the Pirate Broadcast, and it's another week of interesting people doing interesting things. And I want to share some of the gifts that people have, and some of the stories, and some of the challenges, and how they overcome, and all of the things that you can do as an entrepreneur, as a individual, as a business owner, and some of the things that we're doing in this online crazy world that we call social media, and the digital world that we live in now. And one of the things that is important is getting your message out, getting your media out, building stories, and making sure that you have an opportunity to share this stuff out. And one of the people I admire to bring to the top of the list here is Rodrigo Martinez, and some of the things that he's done, and some of the gifts he's brought. And I wanted to bring him back on the show because he was an early adopter. He was one of the people that said, "I'll do this. I'll help you, Russ." And all the gratitude in the world, Rodrigo, for being here again, second time. And we'll do this in true pirates fashion, and bring you to the table. And thank you so much for being here. How are you today?
I'm great. It's a pleasure to be on your show and support you. I'm a big fan of everything you do, and I really like your voice. I don't know why I have this thing for your voice. I don't know. It's like so intense. I don't know. It gets the message across, and I I, I got kind of hooked on your voice. So I don't know.
Oh, thank you so much for that. And the one thing that we want to make sure that we do is acknowledge some of the people that are out there doing good work. And there's so many people doing good work,
Yep.
and you've helped so many others out there. And if you're here today, I want to thank you, all the gratitude in the world. And one thing that I wanted to make sure that we covered early, and maybe early, and then maybe again after some of the people have joined on, and some other people may be watching the replay, I don't know, is there's a lot of challenge in Australia right now with the fires, Rodrigo. We were talking
Yeah.
about it. And I know that there's some people on LinkedIn that have been sharing this information, and maybe you could share how they're sharing this information, and present this to the world, because I think it's important for us to understand that people out there, we all go through challenges. We all go through our difficulties, and ups and downs, and that's life. Let's just experience that, and understand what it's taken us, what lesson it's giving us. However, when a natural disaster takes place, it's really fundamentally, it displaces people in their homes, all of the livestock and animals that are affected, all of these things, the resources are destroyed, and there's a lot of major challenges. And you were sharing before the call that Atima had put an FYI board up, and wanted to see if you could share that again, and let people know that there are resources out there that they can contribute to us to
Yeah.
help
This
with this problem.
this whole situation is devastating, right? It's unprecedented in Australia and maybe probably in the world. The level of devastation, especially wildlife and obviously more importantly human life. Um, for us, we're not there, so it's kind of hard to understand everything that's going on there, and we just try to help in any way we can. So I do have some friends in Australia. Some of them are big on LinkedIn, like Tima, Ahmad, and others. And I noticed, I think this was yesterday. Yeah, I noticed they started, raising awareness.
Hmm.
Tima had a video on one of her posts. Ahmad also did a video, and I saw them sharing these links in the comments, right, to donate. There was a couple of sources, the Salvation Army, Red Cross, and I think the Koala Hospital, and a couple other links there, fire brigades, all the different
Yeah.
ones. And I know how it's sometimes it's difficult to go through these comments, even even when you get a certain amount of comments, it can get a bit sluggish
Yeah.
to go through that.
It's a
Um,
challenge, period.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you've got 4 or 5 comments and you share a link there, that's okay. But these both Tima and Ahmad, they have a huge following and they get a lot of engagement. So I was kind of observing that and I said, why not just bundle all those links in our with our product, our smart list.
Mhm.
Obviously it is a use case for us, um, but also go beyond that. So I didn't want to just bundle the links and hey, look at FYI. Now that's of course the tool is being used, but I wanted to go beyond that. And in fact, what I'm going to show you in a bit is currently on our homepage, which gets some decent traffic. So there's people looking at that, every hour, every minute on a daily basis, and hopefully that drives traffic. But let me just dive in here and show folks here what it is. So share screen.
And while you're looking at that, I want to just give a shout out to a few people. Vicky O'Neill, there's a video. It sounds like there's some feedback on my voice too.
I hear you perfectly, by the way.
Okay. Uh, we'll see how this goes. Vicky, Gabriel, Sherry, Jennifer, Angie, Nick, uh, Trish. Hey, Nick. Good morning. Uh, this is amazing what Rodrigo's doing, and I just want to we'll dive into this a little bit, but I wanted to acknowledge this stuff because uh, team has done such a great job in building a community on LinkedIn that she's sharing it. So she actually put this in her is this Twitter or Instagram?
This is her Instagram. All right, so you're seeing my screen, right?
Uh-huh.
Folks are seeing my. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is her Instagram. So if anybody wants to follow her, it's underscore Tima El Haj. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, she put this smart list on in her. That's the only place in your Instagram bio where you can actually put a link is here. So she put the smart list here. If you click on it, this is what you're going to see. Obviously, on mobile, you're going to see a single column.
Uh-huh.
But I thought it would be because they both were sharing all these links, so I thought it would be adequate to also include, this one here. This first content card here is a snippet with a full video of Tima's post where she was raising awareness,
Yep.
and Ahmad Imam also I included his video here because I thought it would be
He did another
right.
one.
Yeah, he did another one, so fair
Matt
to
Crump did a live on it yesterday on LinkedIn. So
yeah. And then if you just scroll down here, you'll see all these different content cards. They point to different to the links they were actually including in their posts, right? So if you click on, for example, support your local brigade, and you click on that, it will take you directly to the page. So it acts as a kind of like an index or like an interactive bookmark because you can watch the videos embedded here as you can see.
yeah,
But
and I want to let people know that how important this is because it's really important to understand that when you have a cause or you have a product or you have a group of a, a collection of ideas or information that you want to share with in a single place. FYI.to is a phenomenal way to do this. I mean, it's the quickest way I know. In fact,
yeah,
I use it for myself for my own resources. If I see a link that I want to collect and save, I just drop it in my FYI.to resources page, and then I could just go to one page, and then I say, "Oh, what was that one thing I did, and what thing did I want to learn?" And then I go back to that. Same thing with this. Now that there's that link, you can actually share that link out in several different locations, right?
yep.
and then we can actually have that that broadcast, and we can extend that message out to help Australia fires.
Yeah, this is our homepage, and I'm just mentioning this because actually I'm just showing this because I mentioned that I wanted to go the extra mile and put that smart list here in our on our homepage. So hopefully people are looking at this and compelled to click, and if they can find one of the organizations they want to support, it just makes it easy. But the real people that are making a difference, I just copied and pasted a couple of links, right? The real people are guys like Ahmad and Tima and so many others that have been sharing using social media. They have far greater reach than I do, and they're the ones that are actually in Australia going through this process. And I just wanted to support them. So I'm glad it worked. This has gotten uh, a tremendous amount of like almost like 500 link clicks on this smart list.
Oh,
So
wow.
hopefully, even a small conversion of that can benefit. So
Well, every
yeah,
little
that
bit helps, right?
exactly. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Well, let's shift gears a little bit here, Rodrigo, because I think it's important for us to understand some of the things, and I am getting a little bit of a uh, I want to take a moment here. I just want to make sure that I'm on the right thing here. All right, done. I'm not sure where I'm getting
Are
this.
you seeing me? I'm hearing me.
Yeah, I
Am
can
I
hear
good?
you. Just I can hear you. You're a little bit low on the volume,
Yeah,
but
I can speak. I can speak louder. Maybe bring this closer here.
yeah, it's
Is
all
that any
right.
better?
Yeah. Is that wrong? Is that okay?
Yeah, I can hear you
Let's
perfectly.
ask the crew. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me now okay? Sherry? What does it sound like now? Can you hear me now? Anyway, my point is that there's people in need. There's some amazing dis destructive forces, taking place in Australia, and if anything you can do to help out or contribute or share the message would be would be worthwhile, and thank you so much, and what I'll do is I'll share that out in my stream as well, Rodrigo, and we can get that out there. Uh,
Yeah, it's a single link has
yeah,
all those links. You can maybe I'll you can paste it in the comments if people want to reshare that or you know
yeah, now here's a pet peeve of mine, not a pet peeve, I'm not gonna put that out there. We're on LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn Live because this is where the majority of my community hangs out. However, we're also streaming to Facebook, uh, YouTube, and Periscope. So, you know,
awesome.
other platforms have the opportunity to drop in the comments, right? LinkedIn has yet to roll that out. So, LinkedIn, if you're listening,
Okay,
bring on the
got it.
comments, please. So, it's good. And this is one of the things that I wanna transition to is, as an entrepreneur, we have these visions of where we want to go, and it's very seldom a straight line, and there's always an opportunity to okay, you have a challenge, and then you have to figure out how to get around that, and that's one of the things that we talked about last time, Rodrigo, is, okay, we had something, we had an idea, we wanted to do something else, and there's always a challenge. What can you leave with the audience here today, with the people that are watching, about some of the things that you've learned along your journey about being an entrepreneur and having that faith that everything's gonna work out? Because I my sister always she's the one that keeps me in check. Like, "What are we gonna do? It'll all work out."
Yeah,
It'll all work
I
out.
like that you use the word faith because entrepreneurship is an exercise in faith, right?
Uh-huh.
And faith is a conviction, right? A conviction of things hoped for. So you need to have that conviction, right? You need to. I think if you start off with, oh, I don't know if this is going to work or not, or maybe should I, you're already kind of um, shortchanging yourself, right?
Yeah.
You're already short. So
You're not in it.
you're not in it. So I think, but there's a trick here, right? There's a trick which is, yeah, maybe your idea is not the idea that's going to work out. So how can you still have faith and conviction of hope if there is a true risk that your idea might not work out? So I like to swap the idea for the ultimate outcome, right?
Hmm.
Which is in becoming a successful entrepreneur because you've built, a multi-million-dollar business and it's bringing you all the revenues and profits and dividends and or whatever. Or for some of us, ultimate entrepreneurship success is having created something so meaningful, so valuable, so impactful in the market that someone else came and acquired your company, right? So whatever scenario you envision um, as success for your entrepreneurial push, so to speak, right? If you focus on the outcome resulting of that success, which which ultimately impacts your lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So if you sell a 8-figure plus company, that's tremendous impact that you can have personally, right? If you sell a 9-figure company, even more, right? So if you have faith and hope and conviction of the outcome, yes, I will make my dreams come true. Yes, I want to be empowered beyond measure to be able to, because I'm sharing kind of my personal desires, right? To see a problem situation and okay, how much do you need to feed these kids, or how much do you need to rebuild that, or how much is it, a $10,000 check? Is it $100,000 check? Just being able to write those checks to me is, I consider, a blessing, right? So if you focus and have faith, conviction, and things hoped for in the outcome rather than in your idea, then your odds of success in itself are higher because you can always find a different idea or a version of your current idea, right? You can pivot. So I see a lot of entrepreneurs in love with their idea. I personally think they have to be in love with the outcome
Yeah.
of an idea becoming successful, because then you can find things, you can achieve that goal, right? Especially if you start by choosing the right idea to pursue. There's a strategy to do that, and also with the right team. So, the right team pursuing the right idea uh, with faith in the outcome of the idea. This goes back to ambition, right?
Yeah. Well,
Ultimately, what is your personal ambition? Where do you see yourself in 5 years time, in 10 years time? What kind of life do you want to provide for yourself or your family? What kind of impact do you want to create in your community, and so forth? Everything has to start from there. The entrepreneurial success is truly a mindset thing,
yeah.
and so you got to get to the root, to the bottom of where it all starts. It starts with our own personal dreams and desires.
Well,
So if
I
you,
want to
yeah,
unpack that a little bit because you
yeah,
bring up
help me out.
several good points. Is rather than focusing in on the goal of the big idea, if you focus on the outcome and then get started, because success is a very personal thing.
Yep.
Personal success is, it could be, how many people can I help? How many people, what kind of flexibility can I have in my life? What value can I bring? There's lots of
Or
different
what can I
dimensions
do
to
for
that.
my parents, right? That could be success. What can I do for my parents?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that is a personal success for someone, of course, right?
Yeah. And so one of the things I've noticed is if you get too absorbed in the the product, you know, you may put the product out there and it may not do exactly you may not get the response that you anticipated, and you can as long as you're moving forward with the results, it's a lot much easier because then you can change the product, you can adjust the goals, you can
Yep.
adjust the audience, you can move around in that range as long as the goal is like, "Oh, I wanna help 1,000,000 people," or, "I wanna be able to, take care of my parents," whatever that happens to be, the path is not a straight line. You may have a couple of adjustments along the way. You may have to, adjust your product, you may have to adjust your audience, you may have to adjust your message. All of these take place along the journey, but until you start with an intention of an outcome, you're never gonna get there, right?
Yeah, it's if you don't start with the outcome, it's gonna be harder.
Yeah,
You might still get there, but it's gonna be way harder. And I think entrepreneurship is a lot about connecting these dots, these resources. So, you know, um, I think the dream is unlimited, right? We
yeah.
see Elon Musk talking about taking people to Mars, right? So, I mean, that pretty much is a very unlimited dream, right? So,
Talk about big ideas.
yeah, talk about big ideas. So the dream is not. I mean, you can really dream big. Then there's the reality of your resources, and when I talk about resources, is not just money, but your network, the people you can, because ultimately you will want to build a team around yourself, right? Or
Yeah,
with yourself, put it better, because everyone's important in the team. But so sometimes your circumstances can be more favorable. Sometimes you relocated to another continent and you know no one, so your chances of reaching out to people are different from originally where you were. So it's almost like solving this complex puzzle, like a I don't know how many dimension puzzle, and solving it along the way, and figuring out. But look, if you dream 10,000 and you reach 5,000, that's still success in my world. That's still success. I've seen entrepreneurs back in Brazil, back in the days. Ambition is good. Greed, not good,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Sometimes and every venture is a risk. How do you solve the risk problem? You exit the risk, right? You
Yeah.
you pass on the risk to someone with more resources, bigger war chest, or bigger whatever to carry on the risk. So ultimately, you wanna exit the risk, and that's how you not only get the reward, but you solve that problem of risk. Yeah. So it's a game. I like it. It's a very complex game, but there are shortcuts,
Well, and
right?
I think
There's a couple of shortcuts you can to expedite the process. I've
well,
seen that.
I
Lived that.
think surrounding yourself with people that have more experience than you is one of the solutions you can
Yep.
work with, right? Surround yourself with people that wanna see you win too, and wanna see you succeed and want to encourage you to, be the best that you can be. And I think a lot of people, in my experience, the there's a limitation in their beliefs because their beliefs come from our mind and our history, right? So that's why faith is so important. It's like I jumping into the unknown and I don't know where this is gonna go. I just have an intention and an outcome on a purpose driven outcome here, and I need to make sure that I understand that along this road, there's gonna be challenges, there's gonna be things I'm gonna have to adjust to, and I need other people in my world to help me understand what's around the corner, right?
Yeah, or that missing gear is going to show up somewhere somehow out of nowhere, and it's happened all. We look at entrepreneurship, and a lot of it is glamorous around the fundraising thing, which is something
Yeah,
that to put it bluntly really pisses me off, because it's so deceptive, right? You see the media, even some prominent people, just, I mean, of course, congratulations, and I'm paraphrasing here, this really really clever entrepreneur from India. When I remember his name, I'll drop it in the comments later. But most importantly, he said, it's like, yeah, the guy raised funds, so he went to the market and bought vegetables. That doesn't mean he's prepared a dish, right? So
Yeah.
like celebrating fundraising as success is like congratulating the chef because he went to the market and got some vegetables.
Yeah, that's only part of it.
It's only part of it. So there's so many things out there that kind of deviate. I think at the end of the day, you're either doing things, or you're either, uh, how do you say, subjecting yourself,
Yeah.
you're allowing yourself to things that will either increase your odds of success or decrease your odds of success.
Yeah.
There is no worldly guarantee of success.
There are no
But
guarantees in life,
yeah,
period.
but what there are things we can do that can increase our odds, and things we can do that will decrease our odds. All along the journey, right? I like to call this journey the three C's. So conception, creation, and closing the deal, right?
Yeah.
Con- there,
Well,
there's so many
I
things you can do there.
I think this mindset is almost a lifestyle. It's the way you think about life. It's like, okay, what did I learn from this experience, good or bad? And what can I take forward with me to either educate others around me or assist in my outcomes in the future, right? And after you, like yourself, you've had several successes in life, and defined as success, profitable business. You've grown a business from nothing to something, and you've had success, so you understand what the outcome could be potentially.
Yeah.
But when you start a brand new adventure, especially like you're doing with FYI.to, there's still an unknown, right? I mean, there's
Yeah,
some
it's
things that you can use, and there's some principles that you can apply that have worked in the past. However, is the market, is the media, is everything gonna fall into place and push together? You have to believe that the answer is yes, you know? You inherently have to understand that, okay, I will do everything. It's like we're saying, you have to be all in. You have to jump in the deep
yes,
pool
that's
and
it.
say,
That's the key. That is the key. All in, all in. You know, it's a calculated all in, right? You need to you need to take that leap of faith, and that's also personal. How what is all in, right? Are you going to
yeah,
invest your kid's saving in this venture? Are you going to invest your savings? What kind of level of risk are you willing to take? But all successful entrepreneurs, they at some point they went all in, right? They forgot their social life. Maybe that was the price they paid. Maybe they went into debt. Maybe they even paid a higher price relationships. I don't know, all kinds of things. But ultimately, yeah, that's why I'm a big fan of encouraging people to succeed, not to fail. Because I mean, if you're gonna pay such a high price, it has to be worth it, right? So yeah,
well,
that's kind of
and here's the other
my
side of the same coin, because, uh, I've had a lot of different experiences that have not turned out successfully by business definition. However, the experience that I went through was priceless. The
yeah.
education the education was priceless because I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about the process. I learned so much about the business, and that brings value to my life in a way that, you know, reading a book or watching a YouTube video, or, it's so much, because you're in the deep end of the pool. You're sinking and swimming, and all of a sudden you have that experience, and it's just massive. And I just want to encourage people that if you have an idea, you have a belief, and you have an outcome that you're working toward, you have to go in all in and have the faith and the belief and your ability to understand what needs to happen next. Finding people like you, Rodrigo, to make sure that there's a mentorship, accountability, a peer group, mastermind. I'm huge on masterminds and some of those elements that might help you along the way. Get a coach, get somebody that's done it a few times and make sure that they can help you along the way. So any other sage advice that you can share with us today as we wrap up this show, Rodrigo?
Um, keep on tuning into Pirate Broadcast, right? You're bringing some great people. Let's learn from their successes. Let's learn also from potential failures.
Yeah.
Experience. I like to call that experiences because, if you only fail if you give up, right? If you give up, that's when you fail. Even if you never give up, even a failure becomes an experience for learning. So don't
Yeah.
give up. Don't give up on the outcome. Maybe adjust your how you're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Um, Reach out to people with more experience. I think if you have a burning desire to achieve that outcome, your brain just gets way more aware and mindful of all these dots that are floating around us. And yeah, I don't know, maybe you can pick up some good signals there to kind of guide you in what opportunity you should be pursuing. So yeah, never give up on the outcome. Be
Yeah.
prepared to adjust along the way, and whatever you do, just keep moving forward. That's kind of the story of my life, actually.
Yeah.
I've been moving forward. Sometimes I've dragged myself forward, like, oh my, I'm dragging, but I just keep moving forward.
Yeah. Progress every single day. Is it bringing me and then the other thing that I love to, reflect on it is this bringing me joy? Are the people that I'm working with, the things that I'm doing, and the effort that I'm making, is this 'cause not everything is enjoyable, right? So we have to understand that there's bumps along the road, and also the fact that, ultimately, it's like, is this encouraging myself to do better? Am I encouraging myself to do what needs to be done in order to get to the outcome? And it's a huge mindset game. It's a huge mindset, uh, and it's a shift. It's different than being an employee for sure. So,
That's it.
Rodrigo, it's a pleasure. I'm honored by
My
the
pleasure.
fact that we know each other, and I always I applaud your efforts and support your initiative because I love what you're doing, and I just wanna make sure that people understand and know that connect with Rodrigo on LinkedIn. He's out there. Also, go sign up for FYI.to and start making your own private collection. This is a platform that makes a difference in a lot of different ways, and we could list them all here if we had time. And also, I think that go out and do what you can to support Australia. If it's just sharing the message and sharing the smart list, share it with your audience and your community so we can actually help these people that are in dire need of assistance. We went through this in California too. I mean, California
Yeah, insane.
was on fire, and it was devastating, and a lot of people lost lives as well, and homes and everything else. This is like on a magnitude of multiple,
Unprecedented.
and so it's true devastation, and, um, I don't know, I just prayers out to everyone in Australia for what they're doing, and hopefully this will end soon, but, share it with your audience and share it with your community, and until next time, Rodrigo, anything else you wanna leave, last words? What's the
I'm, I think I agree with you. People, every little effort helps. Share the smart list, or even people's posts where they're bringing awareness. Just reshare it. You
Yeah,
know, let's raise awareness, and from the numbers, you need big numbers. Eventually, there's conversions people will support, and everything helps.
Yeah, and I just wanna, also recognize, San, Celeste, Wendy, Kenyatta, thank you so much, Jennifer, all of the people that joined in today. Rodrigo Martinez is an awesome rock star. He's an amazing individual that always is giving, and so I'd love to support individuals, interesting people doing interesting things. I apologize. I do hear, some echo, so I'll be working on that for tomorrow's episode, but until then, you know, kindness is cool, smiles are free, and you enjoy the day. Thanks, Rodrigo.
Thank you.